The AL East is a battlefield where every swing could shift the standings, and on July 29, two high-stakes showdowns are set to ignite. The Blue Jays head to Camden Yards to challenge a scorching Orioles squad that's clawing for the division lead, while in Colorado, the Guardians roll into Coors Field hoping to capitalize on the thin air and make a statement in the wild card race. We're talking clutch pitching duels, rising stars, and explosive offensive potential that could define each team's playoff path. This isn't just baseball, this is a measuring stick for October. Every pitch matters, every at-bat could be the difference. Buckle up. The Blue Jays travel to Camden Yards on July 29 with an urgent need to turn their season around. Toronto has been battered lately in AL East matchups, and things won't get any easier against a high-flying Orioles squad that continues to assert itself as one of the top contenders in the American League. Baltimore enters this matchup with arguably the most balanced roster in baseball: the power of Gunnar Henderson, the reliability of Adley Rutschman, the resurgent pitching of Grayson Rodriguez, and the elite bullpen that has closed games like clockwork. The Jays, meanwhile, are teetering on the edge of a deadline decision. Did they buy? Did they sell? And are they even equipped to do either, with Bo Bichette underperforming, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. struggling to hit for power consistently, and Kevin Gausman's ERA climbing north of 4.00? Baltimore will hand the ball to right-hander Grayson Rodriguez, who has found his rhythm in recent months. After a rocky start to the season, his ERA over the last 6 outings has dipped below 2.90, and he's generating more swings and misses with his slider than any other pitch in his arsenal. Rodriguez's command has also improved, walking just 5 batters in his last 4 outings combined, a key development for someone who was once prone to letting innings spiral. Facing a Blue Jays lineup that's in the bottom third of the league in ops against right-handed pitchers, this matchup sets up well for the young flamethrower. Toronto is countering with Chris Bassitt, who's had an up-and-down season but remains capable of stringing together quality starts. The issue, however, is that Bassitt's stuff doesn't always play up against teams like Baltimore, clubs that can foul off his sinker, make him work, and capitalize when he falls behind in counts. Camden Yards is a more pitcher-friendly park since the left field wall got pushed back, but that won't matter much if Bassitt can't stay ahead of hitters. In his last 3 road starts, Bassitt has posted a whip of 1.58 and surrendered 5 home runs, all on poorly located cutters and hanging curves. What separates these two teams right now is Baltimore's consistent ability to apply pressure from multiple angles. Henderson is one of the hottest hitters in baseball and has raised his ops to .940 with 28 homers already. Ryan Mountcastle is driving in runs again, and Jordan Westburg is quietly putting together an all-star caliber season. The Jays, by contrast, are scraping the bottom of the lineup barrel with Dalton Varsho, Kevin Kiermaier, and Davis Schneider all hitting below .240 since the All-Star break. There just isn't the same punch in their lineup, and unless Vlad Jr. goes off, Toronto often finds itself needing 2-out hits from guys who aren't delivering. Weather conditions in Baltimore on game day should be optimal: low 80s, mild humidity, and minimal wind. That supports the hitters, but it's not enough to tilt the game out of the pitcher's hands. The Orioles' bullpen remains a massive advantage. Craig Kimbrell's bounce back in 2024 is one of the best underreported stories in MLB, and the trio of Yennier Cano, Danny Coulombe, and Keegan Akin has helped Baltimore hold a top-3 bullpen era in July. The Jays, however, have suffered mightily without Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson. When Bassitt comes out, Toronto enters the danger zone. There are also tactical mismatches to watch. The Orioles are one of the best teams at hitting sinkers and off-speed in 2-strike counts, which is Bassitt's bread-and-butter strategy. Toronto also has the 3rd worst defense in terms of outs above average at third base and shortstop, a problem when Henderson and Westburg are pounding hard grounders and frozen ropes into the corners. Add to that the Jays' inability to steal bases or force defensive pressure, and Baltimore's fielders can relax and stay back on their heels. This game could also be a telling sign of the Blue Jays' mindset heading into the trade deadline. A loss here could signal that the front office is ready to part ways with pieces like Yusei Kikuchi or Jordan Hicks. Meanwhile, the Orioles are more likely to make aggressive win-now additions. Their lineup and bullpen are postseason ready. They're just one arm away from becoming the Owls' top dog. If they take control early in this game, look for a statement win to anchor their weekend. Best bet for this game has to be Orioles' moneyline, but more specifically the -1.5 run line is in strong consideration given Baltimore's +80 run differential at home this season. Grayson Rodriguez to record 7+ strikeouts is also an elite value play, especially considering the Blue Jays have struck out at a 27% clip against righties over the past 2 weeks. Another angle is Adley Rutschman to record 2+ total bases. He's had multi-hit games in 4 of his last 7 outings at home and has a .320 average against Bassett historically. Gunnar Henderson home run prop is in play, too. He's slugging .700 this month and has already cleared 28 dingers, many of which have come against breaking ball heavy pitchers like Bassett. Final score prediction: Orioles 6, Blue Jays 2. The gap between these teams is too wide, and Rodriguez's development gives Baltimore the edge in the starting pitching matchup. If the Blue Jays don't jump out early, the game will slowly slip away as the O's apply pressure inning after inning. The altitude of Coors Field is always a talking point, but on Sunday, July 29th, it takes center stage as the Cleveland Guardians, a team built on contact, control, and pressure, roll into Denver to face the struggling yet unpredictable Colorado Rockies. This isn't just a game between first and worst in their respective divisions. It's a classic contrast of styles played out at the most volatile venue in Major League Baseball. The Guardians, sitting atop the AL Central, have relied on pitching discipline, elite bullpen execution, and the resurgence of Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez to power through the summer months. The Rockies, they're just hoping to get through 9 innings without burning through 4 relievers and a defensive blunder that costs them the game. Let's start with the arms. Cleveland is expected to hand the ball to right-hander Tanner Bibee, who continues to establish himself as a top 30 pitcher in the AL. Bibee is coming in with a 3.35 ERA, a whip under 1.15, and over 105 strikeouts on the year. His slider changeup mix has been especially effective against lefties, and his hard hit rate ranks among the top 25% of all starters. More importantly, Bibee has shown tremendous poise on the road, holding opponents to a .228 average and limiting big innings even in hitter-friendly parks. Coors is a different beast, but Bibee's pitch-to-contact style, mixed with a lineup that avoids free passes, gives him a chance to pitch deep and keep the Guardians in command. On the other side, the Rockies are expected to counter with left-hander Austin Gomer. His 5.64 ERA doesn't inspire confidence, nor does his tendency to allow the long ball, 18 homers in just over 100 innings pitched. Gomer's fastball averages just 90 miles per hour, and when he's not spotting his changeup, hitters feast. His ZERA, FIP, and barrel rates all suggest his struggles aren't just Coors inflated, they're systemic. Cleveland's offense may not be flashy, but it's relentless. They make pitchers work, they foul off tough pitches, and they don't chase. That's a nightmare formula for a pitcher like Gomer who lacks swing and miss stuff. Offensively, Cleveland continues to be led by Jose Ramirez, who's hit .286 with 24 home runs and 8.905 ops entering the final weekend of July. Add in Josh Naylor's 70+ RBs and the red-hot Stephen Kwan, who's quietly hitting over .300 again, and the Guardians are tailor-made to chip away until you break. In the last 30 days, they've been top 5 in the league in fewest strikeouts and OBP. That plays big time at Coors, where gap-to-gap contact and smart base running put you in position to pile on. Colorado's offensive threats are few and far between. Ryan McMahon is the only consistent slugger, sitting at 16 and an OPS around .760, but he's extremely streaky and can't carry this team on his own. Ezekiel Tovar and Brenton Doyle have flashed talent, but their plate discipline issues continue to be a drag. The Rockies are near the bottom of the league in OBP, walk rate, and runs per game, and that includes the Coors Field effect. On the year, they average just 4.2 runs per game at home, down nearly 0.6 runs from their usual high-altitude inflation. That's a huge red flag going against a Cleveland team that's top 3 in bullpen era and whip since June 1st. In the bullpen, the Guardians continue to dominate. Emmanuel Clase has 25-plus saves and one of the most deceptive cutters in the game. He's backed up by Tim Herrin and Hunter Gaddis, who have posted sub 3.30 errors and continue to neutralize both sides of the plate. If Cleveland gets a lead after 6 innings, it's usually lights out. Compare that to Colorado, who rank 29th in bullpen era, 28th in inherited runners scored, and dead last in save conversion rate. If Gomer gets chased early, it could turn into a parade of fringe triple arms getting ambushed by contact-heavy hitters in a ballpark that punishes mistakes. Best bets. Cleveland moneyline is an obvious lean even if it's juiced. But the true value lies in the Guardians team total over. If it opens around 5.5 or 6, the over is the best way to play this. With Gomer's HR, flyball ratio, it wouldn't be shocking to see Cleveland hit 3 or more homers. Ramirez and Naylor are both live home run props, especially from the left side against a soft-throwing southpaw. Strikeout props favor Bibee, who's been averaging 6.3 kiloseconds per start and facing a Rockies team that's struck out the 6th most in the NL over the last 15 games. If his number opens at 5.5 or lower, it's an easy over. For total bases, Kwon is a sneaky value. While he doesn't go deep often, he's a line drive machine and a candidate to leg out a triple at Coors. Bonus angle, Cleveland minus 1.5 on the alternate run line. It's usually plus money, and with their bullpen edge and Colorado's inability to hold leads or stay within striking distance when they trail, the value is there. A potential SGP parlay could include Guardians moneyline, Bibee 6+ Ks, Ramirez to record a hit, and Guardians 5+ runs, likely pricing around plus 425 to plus 500 depending on the book. Final score prediction. Guardians 8, Rockies 4. Expect Bibee to do enough to avoid disaster, Cleveland's bats to slowly overwhelm Gomer, and the bullpen to shut the door. A complete team victory, exactly what the AL Central leaders have made their trademark all season long. If you want the full breakdown, bold predictions, and betting angles for the rest of the MLB matchups on July 29th, don't miss Part 2, exclusively on Beyond the Box Score. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a pick that could cash big. Your winning edge starts here. Let's go beyond the numbers, beyond the box score.